So we're in the spooky month, and with a new decade comes new adaptations of old series, because we're living in the decade of nostalgia because our parents have ruined the world, so we can only connect with what struck a chord with us as children in order to stave our minds from the constant misery around us and eventual heat death of the world and universe as which we know it. Fun. Everything is pain and misery, and for some reason in October, that's just fine. We all love it, crave it, and seek it out for enjoyment, which is a bit ironic, now that I think about it. How one season can just turn everything on its head and make us all want to revel in the horror and misery and let our inner demons out for fun or for frights as a coping mechanism for the horror of reality that we all must face every other waking day. Sure, we smile, but how many songs talk about fake smiles? So many mask memes.
That's what the point of the mask is.
And for what? A dumb metaphor? What are we doing? Why can't we get anything meaningful done? Is it our fault? Is it politicians? Why don't we all just take comfort in the families that we have, unless we don't have those either? Then I don't know, commune with the dead ones with Ouija boards and seances, and where was I going with this? Oh right, the Addams Family's back. Yep, that's right, the Addams Family is back once again with a new animated movie, a sequel to 2019's, which, it was okay. Not fantastic and kind of missed the point of the Addams, but it was alright. I haven't seen the new one, so when I do, I'll probably post up a quick review. Subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss it. Anyway, what makes the Addams Family so pervasive? Why do we have such a connection to a creepy and kooky family? That the franchise never seems to die, which I honestly doubt the Addams would mind much. They're quite fond of the dead after all. I've always had a fondness myself for the Addams Family. I used to watch some of the black and white show along with the Munsters at times, and I enjoyed the original live-action film from the 90s. It's been a while since I've seen them, which ended up getting me curious. We have those 3 movies, and now 2 CG animated films, and a live-action Wednesday series coming to Netflix soon. So where did these Addams come from? Who created this eccentric family? Why have they stuck around so long in the public eye? That's what I'm gonna try and find out here. So let's just dive on into it. The Addams Family, surprisingly, is older than Godzilla. They're nearly a century old. The family originally started as a series of one-panel New Yorker cartoons by cartoonist Charles Addams way back in 1938 and running for 50 years, ending with his death in 1988. These cartoons were created mostly as single-panel gags and featured the family in various scenarios. The idea of the family was to take the nuclear family of the time and spin it on its head. It wasn't to make them opposite of a family unit exactly, as they are ridiculously close-knit and supportive of one another, but instead the idea was to tweak what can be seen as normal for the time. It was a bit revolutionary for the time period. But it wasn't until 1966 that the Addams would be seen on TV in a live-action appearance. This first show ran for 2 seasons until 1968 and gave us their iconic theme song, and the names of the family members from Morticia and Gomez to their children Wednesday and Pugsley. The extended family, Uncle Fester and Grandmama, and the help of Butler Lurch and Thing T Thing, is also introduced various other recurring family members like Cousin It, who was created for the TV series and wasn't in the comics. The general plot was the Addams having visitors over who they were always gracious and welcoming to. It was extremely rare to ever see the family as hostile, aside from childhood rivalries with the children. These visitors would usually become horrified at the Addams' livelihood and typically leave never wishing to return, despite the friendly family and their normal-to-them actions. This show actually has its own dedicated channel on Pluto TV, and is available on multiple streaming platforms since it is a piece of television history. It wasn't until 1972 that the Addams would appear on TV again, but this time animated, appearing in an episode of the new Scooby-Doo movies. This episode hasn't been released on DVD due to a copyright inflict, and there's very little footage available from it, but it is still around. The family was back in live action in 1973 with a pilot for a series, but it wasn't picked up, leading to the family's return to animation, again in 1973 with the first animated series, The Addams Family, made by Hanna-Barbera. It seems that this was made in response to public support for the Scooby-Doo crossover. But this only lasted one season, with the second season just being reruns, and it ran for a full 2 years before cancellation. After that, in 1977, we finally had a proper return to form with a live-action Halloween special entitled Halloween with the New Addams Family. This was a film starring almost all of the original cast from the 1966 series and was an end to new Addams Family productions for quite some time. It wasn't until 1991's film, The Addams Family, that the group returned. It's by all means a classic film, despite getting so-so reviews at the time, and was a box office smash, breaking in over 6 times its budget, and paved the way for 2 more sequels, released in 1993 and 1998. But they weren't done with television yet. They started appearing again in 1992. Hanna-Barbera tried their hand again at an animated series, this time creatively called The Addams Family, The Animated Series, and again lasted for 2 years and 2 seasons, and consisted of just 21 episodes before being cancelled. After that, we have the final TV series for the Addams, at least until Wednesday is released, in 1998. This was back to basics with the live-action show, and only had 1 season, but lasted for 3 years, ending in 2001 with a total of 65 episodes. So many awards for this one too, but I don't remember watching it all that often. I more so watched the black and white. Finally, we're in modern times with the first CG Addams Family movie in 2019. It was alright, has a great voice cast reprising their roles for the sequel, but it seemed a bit confused on how to bring the Addams into the modern age. It didn't quite seem to understand what to do with all the characters, and was more interested in setting up the world and introducing a new generation to the classic creeps. After that, we have the sequel, which released earlier this month, and I haven't had time to go see it yet, but I'll leave a quick review when I do. It seems to be a road trip film, so I guess we'll find out how the Addams fare in various locations. Now, after finding out about the Addams having such a long and prolific and mostly animated history, there's a question that still needs to be answered. Why? Why is this macabre family so popular? What do they do that somehow sticks around in the public eye? There has to be something that has made these characters household names for nearly a century. So what is it? Looking back, I think it's the family themselves. Not just the scary, gloomy aesthetic, but how the characters interact with each other and just how they act. They are never unlikable. Ever. Pretty much every film in the TV show's plot centers around quote-unquote normal people interacting with them with either bad intentions or misunderstandings. In the case of pretty much every movie, usually about someone trying to steal Uncle Fester's money, or in the first CG movie, run them out of town for being weird and not fitting into the status quo. This sort of fits the theme of the family, but misses the point that they are a normal, healthy family. They actively look out for each other, even if Wednesday is trying to torture her brother.
Is that for your brother? I don't think so.
Pugsley likes it. Their pets, their extended family members, they're all just ridiculously kind to pretty much everyone they come across. Again, not counting some instances with the children, that's usually their games going awry.
425? 426. All right, Agent 0000. Are you going to tell me what I want to know? No.
Morticia and Gomez, for example, are a perfect couple. They both lovingly support each other, are madly in love with each other, and openly sexual and romantic with one another. It may get to the point where it can make others uncomfortable, but it's normal for them to express themselves in such a way. It's just hard as a viewer to find these strange people as unlikable. They're all genuinely nice and easy to get along with. For being so strange, the family has a remarkable talent to feel relatable, to feel, despite their differing reality, normal, safe, even fun. And that right there is the main theme of the Addams besides just family workings. Normalcy is what you make of it. It's a big theme in the films, especially the newer ones, that the family does fit into society because they are a family. Weirdness can be enjoyed and celebrated even if misunderstood at first. It's a nice moral of don't judge a book by its cover, which I feel didn't really need to be rehashed. I feel like it's been done to death. I feel like everyone kind of understands that, but whatever. The Addams family belongs because it's a family. no matter how extended that family can get or who is adopted into it. There's also themes of self-expression and friendship, all tied in a neat little bow with the macabre details because scary stuff is fun, even if it's played for laughs. The popularity of the Universal monsters, or even modern cartoon imaginings like Monster Mash or Hotel Transylvania show off that, but I think the main sticking point with the Addams Family is their relatability. It's easy to see yourself as part of the family or find connections between the characters and your own family members. The staying power is very strong, and I don't think it's going away anytime soon. I can't find the budget for this second film, but it's already grossed over $35 million at the box office at the time of writing, so I think it's a safe bet to say that we'll get more of the family very soon. As for which version is better, I'm not sure. Animation certainly feels like the best home for the Addams, as they can do much more zany things and be truly stylized, but their live action occurrences are classic, and it would be interesting to see what can be done with modern practical effects and CG. I'm curious as to where this new Wednesday show will go, and you can bet I'll be watching it. So what do you guys think of the Addams Family? Did you grow up with them like I did? Do you have opinions on the films and shows? Ever wonder what the hell Thing is? Like, is he just a disembodied hand or what? And why is Cousin It voiced by Snoop Dogg now, if the whole point of the character is to have an unintelligible, high-pitched voice? Is that the joke? Is it just name recognition?
I still don't understand a word that guy said.
And like, how do they have a pet lion? And how does Aristotle the octopus stay out of water for so long? And are the Frumps and the Addams just the weirdest families combined, or were they separate, or what? I doubt the Addams would answer, or even care, honestly. Creepy and kooky indeed.
We're gonna pay a call on the Addams Family.
Hey guys, thanks for watching my retrospective on the Addams Family, and I hope you learned something. I definitely learned stuff I didn't know researching this topic. I just find it really interesting to go into the history of things like this, and I hope you guys do too. Anyway, if you want to see more, please like and subscribe, hit that bell, comment down below what you think of the Addams. The interact really helps me out to grow. And that's it. Have a great day, and if you're not, have a better one. See ya. Some strange passenger inside, to that strange power underside, like an ironing. I'm just a ghost in your stereo, the fading memory of a shipwreck in the undertow. You're just a lost song.